So, good evening, everybody. My name's James Ellum. I'm the Chief Executive at St Oswald's Hospice. I'd just like to welcome you all to our annual Light Up a Life celebration event. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's wonderful to see so many of you here this evening. Thank you also to Robson's Choice Band, who are playing in the foyer, and the Newcastle Concert Band for providing the musical entertainment so far this evening. Joining us during the service will be Urban Chorus, who we are delighted to have joining us for a second year. I would also like to personally thank our sponsors, Cooperative Funeral Care, for their generous and ongoing support of our Light Up a Life celebration. And finally, I would like to thank Radio Tyneside, who will be broadcasting this service on 93.6 FM at 5 o'clock this Thursday evening. It will also be online. So, I will now hand over to Davina Radford, who is the chaplain at St Oswald's, who will lead us in this evening of celebration and remembrance tonight. But before I do, from me, I would just like to welcome you all here and wish you a very peaceful Christmas and a very happy New Year. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everybody. And again, from me, welcome to our St Oswald's annual Light Up a Life service. And welcome to listeners on Radio Tyneside on 93.6 FM on Sunday. You can't get the chief execs these days. As James says, my name's Davina and I'm chaplain at St Oswald's. And you know that every year, all over the world, Light Up a Life services are held throughout December. Now, each one is unique, very different from the other, but the purpose and the intention behind them is the same. Christmas is traditionally a time where we like to get together to celebrate the good things in life, like family, friendship, joy, and hope. But for us here, it's also a bittersweet time, as some of the people that we love most dearly have died, and their absence is felt particularly keenly at this time of year. So tonight is a time when we just set aside our busyness, our Christmas preparations, our shopping, and we just stop. We stop and we draw close to honour and celebrate and give thanks for our loved ones. Tonight's a night of memories. It's an opportunity to celebrate the lives of people we've loved but no longer see. People we continue to love even though we can't see them. People who we will never forget. Because without them, we wouldn't be the people we are today. Some have cared for us and helped us. Others have touched and inspired us. Together, they have shaped us. And tonight, we want to say thank you for having been in our lives. And as you know, tonight is called Light Up a Life because adorning our magnificent tree behind me are thousands of little lights. And each one of those lights represents someone who's died. And a little later in the service, we have two very special guests who are going to come on stage to switch on the lights of our tree. And each and every light will shine out of the darkness and bring us hope. Now, I hope you've had the chance to write messages on your stars and place them in one of our bowls. And those bowls will come up onto the stage and be placed under the tree later in the service. Now, after this service, we'll take them back to St Oswald's and we'll keep them safe in our chapel over Christmas. For those of you who've been here before, tonight will be the usual blend of song and readings and some lovely Christmas music and as ever, our faithful Newcastle Concert Band are here to support us, and Urban Chorus, who joined us for the first time last year. We're delighted to have them back. And all the words you need are printed in your service sheet. And it really is our hope that tonight brings you comfort and support. We want it to be uplifting. But don't worry if you get choked or teary. That's completely normal and natural. It's to be expected. And tonight, we are amongst friends. And I glanced out, and I am pleased to see that we've got some young people here tonight, and we're going to need your help a little later on. Sadness and grief affect the whole family, not just grown-ups. And I want to reassure everybody who is here with a young person tonight that we understand they can't always be still and quiet. So if there's a bit of wriggling going on and a little bit of noise, let that be part of the special atmosphere that we create together tonight. But just in health and safety, please don't let them wander off on their own. It's dark. So, can we just calm our hearts and our minds with a prayer? And if prayer's not your thing, just listen to the words and be comforted by them and hear the loving intention that lies at the prayer's heart. God who creates us and recreates us. God who laughs with us and weeps with us. God who walks with us each step of the way, carrying us when our own strength fails. We gather tonight, scarred and fragile, needing light to come into our darkness. We ask that you move in and around us, that you be the shoulder we can cry on, the arm we can lean on. As we give thanks for all our loved ones, as we remember them, remind us that we're not alone. Amen. And as usual, I'm going to suggest that we just stay seated all the way through the service, even as we sing, so that everybody can see what's going on. And so I encourage you to sing with gusto our first carol, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. thank you. And now I'm going to invite to the stage my colleague Angela Egdal, who's the Director of Care Services at St Oswald's, and she's going to share our first reading with us, which is called The Candles, and before each verse, a candle will be lit.
The first candle represents our grief. The pain of losing you is intense. It reminds us of the depth of our love for you. This second candle represents our courage to confront our sorrow, to comfort each other, to change our lives. This third candle we light in your memory for the times we laughed, for the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other, the silly things you did, the caring and joy you gave us. This fourth candle we light for our love. We light this candle that your light will always shine. As we enter this holiday season and share this night of remembrance with our family and friends, we cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for you. We thank you for the gift your living brought to each of us. We love you. We remember you.
Our bereavement service told me that grief can be like a big black stone that lies in our hearts. People think that over time that this stone goes away or that it gets smaller and becomes just a little pebble. But it doesn't. The grief's always there. The stone remains large and black. But I think over time we learn to carry it a little more easily. And our lives slowly grow around the black stone of grief. But one day you can smell a perfume or an aftershave or hear a certain song, and the weight of that big black stone is so heavy and so immediate again. Our bereavement team says that grief is just the opposite of love. That the bigger the love, the bigger the grief. And as C.S. Lewis said, the pain of now is part of the happiness of then. That's the deal. To deny the loss is to deny the love. Now I invite you to sit back and relax as you watch and listen to our first performance from our choir, Urban Chorus.
Those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days. I won't forget a single day, believe me. I bless the light. I bless the light that lights on you, believe me. And though you're gone, you're with me every single day, believe me. Days I remember all my life, days when you can't see home from this world, believe me. I wish today could be tomorrow. The night is long, it just brings sorrow, let it wait. Ah, thank you for the days, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days I won't forget a single day, believe me. Days I remember all my life, days when you can't see wrong from right. You took my life, but then I knew that very soon you leave me. But it's alright, now I'm not frightened of this world, believe me. Days, thank you for the days, those endless days, those sacred days you gave me. I'm thinking of the days I won't forget a single day, believe me. I bless the light, I bless the light that lights on you, believe me. And though you're gone, you're with me every single day, believe me. Day, I thank you, I thank you.
Thank you. If you were here last year, I'm sure you remember that two lovely gentlemen got up here and very bravely shared their stories of loss and grief. And many people who came along who spoke to me at the end said it was the bit that they would remember most. So tonight we have another pair of very brave souls. We're going to share their stories to help us understand that we're not alone in sadness and grief, and that there is hope. So first of all, I would like to invite onto the stage the lovely Alan Thornton. Give him a round of applause of encouragement. Okay?
Yeah.
So Alan, could you tell me who you're here to remember tonight?
Tonight, my wife, Anne, and also my brother, Billy, who died at Christmas last year.
And St Oswald's cared for Anne. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Anne bore an illness for quite a long time. And in that time, she was looked after at home by Macmillan. But it got to the stage where she needed pain relief, needed St Oswald's. The time in there, she was a little bit hesitant. We went in, and the easiest thing to say is it's care with love. That's the big difference. She thoroughly enjoyed her time. You have to excuse me. She thoroughly enjoyed her time in. It was very relaxed, and I enjoyed going in there. I still enjoy going in there.
And we can see this is tough for you to do. It's emotional, and we're really grateful to you, Alan.
That's fine.
And I know, because I've seen a bit of you, that you've been through a tough time through the past few months. And what's been helping you get through it?
Get through it? Well, I think I've had my brother-in-law has helped, Hans' brother, and I've got a close friend. It's people you trust, people around, and also the hospice has been a great help. Davina has helped me, helped support. I can't take the pain away, that's there. But what it's helped me do, and what has developed in the hospice, is again being wrapped with love. Not just care, it is true love. And I've found in it, I've rediscovered my music, which I was lost. So that's come to light, and that's really helping me. Like I said, it doesn't take the pain away, and I still got to walk the path, but it helps. It helps.
You're a lovely fella. Who couldn't love you? Can we give him a round of applause,
Thank
please?
you. All right.
Lush. And now I'm going to invite the equally lovely Claire Lyle to the stage. Thank you. Are you ready?
I am.
Claire is going to read something that she's written for us. Thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Davina. And thank you all for giving me just a few minutes of your time tonight to tell my story. It's a great honour to be asked. Just over a decade ago, my journey began when my mum was diagnosed with cancer and introduced to St Oswald's Hospice. I say my story, but by that, I mean that of my family as a whole, and tonight I speak on behalf of all of us. So my mum was diagnosed and introduced to the various things on offer at the hospice. She especially liked the complementary therapies, and I joined her for many visits, often being involved in the therapies myself. On New Year's Eve 2007, my adorable mum received end-of-life care at the hospice and died. The most difficult time of my and my family's life began. We learned that grief is so powerful and strong. It's physical pain and emotional torment, with such loss and emptiness consuming your every thought. It changes part of you forever. But through time, you can find strength and positivity from it, and that leaves you with a sense of pride. I feel proud to have loved someone so much that it hurts this much to be without them. I feel proud to have been loved by a mum who was so amazing. She was kind, caring, guiding, wise and funny, and demonstrated a very private serenity throughout her illness. I am grateful that losing her gave me unbreakable links with such an amazing place in St Oswald's Hospice. Relationships with the therapists and other staff whose time and empathy helped through the dark days. New friendships with our bereavement group who let us know that we weren't alone in our grief. The building of the hospice and the people in it are so special. The amazing care they give to patients and their family and friends is second to none, and they deserve so much thanks. It is an honour to have been just a little part of their fundraising over the years, and in doing so, open other people's eyes to the work they do. My dad's running club, for example, happily got on board and have been hugely supportive in fundraising in Mum's name. And I'm proud to say that the money raised in her name is still rising and will continue to do so. As well as fundraisers, the hospice needs volunteers, one of whom I'm proud to say is my sister Helen, who helps out on the inpatient ward when she can. Any kind of support is of value, and it feels really good to be able to give a little back, as it were. From St Oswald's being the place where we buy our Christmas cards every year, to walking all night as a team, to running in silly pink tutus, anything really that raises their profile is so worthwhile. So all of this for us continued, and the years rumbled on. The pain of being without Mum remained, but the raw, intense sadness faded a little as time passed. And then, in July of this year, it happened again, as one of my best friends in the world died, aged just 46, after a short journey with cancer. Jenny, just like my mum, received end-of-life care at St Oswald's, and once again, the care was phenomenal. Jenny was incredible through her illness. She was so strong and wise beyond her years. It was humbling to watch staff get to know her, even at this difficult time. She showed incredible courage, kindness, calmness, and was organised beyond measure. We miss her every single day. So Jenny died. The sorrow, the desperate sadness returned once again. Holding the hand of someone I love while she died was no easier second time round than the first. But alongside the grief and desperation came that warm, familiar blanket of love and support from the hospice again. And this time, I know the pain will ease, the feeling of loss will never disappear, but the raw sadness will dissipate through time. And on I will go with my incredible family and friends, supporting this amazing place and all in it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's scary being up here, you know, and bearing your soul like Claire and Alan have just done takes tremendous courage, and they've done it for you. They want to share their story to help you feel less alone, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I think we just need some music now. So let's listen to a second performance by our wonderful choir, Urban Chorus.
Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Needed the shelter of someone's love, that you were. I needed someone to understand my upset. Stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved. Close my eyes and wondering where will I be without you in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, it seemed to be there before. You brought it up for me all of my days. Love so sweet in so many ways. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved. And thank you, baby. I just wanna stop and thank you, baby. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. me it is.
We have quite a few traditions that we go back to year in, year out at Light Up Life, and now it's time to have the tradition of having the young people in our audience come up onto the stage here by those stairs if they want to and help us sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So can all the little reindeer in the audience come up and sit down on the stage to my left?
That was wonderful, thank you. And as a reward, I'm going to give you a short story. My name's Alan, I'm the assistant chaplain at St Oswald's, and part of my job is telling stories. Now this is a story about the giving of presents, which I guess is particularly appropriate at this time of year. But it's also a story about what giving means, and whether it's more important to give the best and the most expensive present, or whether it's better to give a present that means something really special. Now, most good stories start once upon a time, but this story is about wise men. And it's a story about the very first Christmas. So I guess that you already know what time this story starts. It's called The Fourth Wise Man. Across the desert, the wise men were riding their camels through the dark of the night. "See, the star is leading us," cried the first man. "Ooh, leading us to a king," said the second. "Yeah, the king of heaven and earth," said the third. There was a fourth wise man with them. "Oh, I wish I was as wise as my friends," he said to himself. "Then I would have known more about this journey before we set off." The first man said, "The gift that I bring is hidden in my saddlebag." And the second man said, "The gift I bring is strapped to my belt." And the third man said, "Well, the gift I bring is hidden in the folds of my cloak." And the fourth man looked sad. "I haven't got a gift worthy of a king. I'm still looking." The first man said, "My gift is gold." "Well," said the second man, "my gift is frankincense for a king whose prayers will rise to heaven." And the third man said, "Well, my gift is myrrh for a king who will be famous in his life and forever, ever after." And the fourth man lowered his eyes. "I don't know what gift I'm going to choose." So the four men traveled on through that night and for many more days and nights afterwards, until at last the star that led them hung still in the sky, and below it was a humble dwelling. "Oh, well, this is an unusual place to find a king," said the first man. "But the star clearly shows us that this is the right place," said the second. The third man was impatient. "Let's go in, give our gifts." The fourth man waited outside. "I don't have a gift to give," he said. "I may as well go and fetch some water for the camels." So he went to the well and he drew a bucket of water. Now it was very heavy, so he put it down on the ground. And then he saw something wonderful. He bent closer. "The star," he said, "the star that is in the sky is reflected in my old and battered bucket." And he gazed in delight for a moment, and then he laughed out loud. "This is what I shall take the king," he said, "a reflection of light from the heavens." And by a miracle, the star kept shining in that bucket, and the child king laughed and laughed and laughed. And that's the end of the story, but it's also the beginning.
I think some of them didn't want to get off the stage. It's nearly time to light up the lights on our Christmas tree, but before we do that, we need to gather up your wonderful stars, all those messages that you've sent to your loved ones, and put them under the tree. And tonight, the bowls that you put them in are going to be carried up by representatives of our staff and volunteers at St Oswald's and our sponsor, Co-op Funeral Care. And I hope you recognise some of them. We've got Maureen Raper and Amanda Hall from our catering service, who keep everybody well fed and happy. Fiona Clark, who runs our craft room. Carol Taylor from our Focus on Living Centre. Margaret Thompson, who's a wonderful volunteer receptionist, but I'm sure she does everything everywhere else in the hospice as well. And Christine Heslop from our Co-op Funeral Care. And as they come to the front, we will have a rendition of Silent Night. In a moment, I'm going to invite two very special guests up onto the stage, Rosie and Robin, and they're going to light up our tree of remembrance. But before I do that, I would like to say another prayer. Again, if praying's not your thing, then please just sit and think about the lovely person that you're here to remember. Let us pray. Loving Father, we have come here this evening to remember those we love but see no longer, to make them present again in our thoughts, to light a light as a symbol of how their lives continue to sparkle and to burn in our hearts and our memories. But before we light up their lives, we recall with deep thankfulness how they lit up ours. Husbands and wives, parents and grandchildren, parents and grandparents, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandchildren, people we worked with, people who lived near us, people who were our friends. We thank you for those who have loved us, cared for us and helped us, who have touched us and inspired us, those who have laughed with us and wept with us, those who have shared some of this earthly life with us. We thank you that they remain safe in your eternal love and care. until it's time for us to be reunited. As we sit here together, shoulder to shoulder, united in our loss and sadness, we ask you to strengthen us and hold us. Bring comfort for those who hurt, bring solace, bring healing. And when the lights on this tree are switched on, let each light represent our loved ones. And as each tiny light is reinforced by the others, shining out to dispel the darkness, may we also remember your radiant light, the light that brings hope, the light that guides us out of the darkness, the light of your pure and perfect love. Amen. Now I need Rosie and Robin up here to come and light our tree up. Here they are. Can we give them a round of applause? Come and stand up here. Can you see over the top?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rosie.
And what's your name?
Robin.
And Rosie, who are you here to remember tonight? Because in a big voice.
I'm here for my granny and Auntie Jenny.
And Robin, who are you here to remember
my
tonight?
Joan and my Auntie Jenny.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, what we're going to do in a minute is that we're going to let the arena be in darkness, and we're going to sit in silence for a little while. And you're going to remember those that you've come here to remember. And then I'm going to get you to press this big red button when I tell you, and you're going to switch on our lights. And you're all welcome to switch on any of your tea lights and sparkly things that you've got as well. And we're going to then have a short pause, and you can go back. And then we're going to sing together the first Noel, and the first verse of which are going to be sung by Urban Chorus. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's put that big red button there, and when I nod, you can press it together. So put your hands there. Can we have the lights of the arena turned down, please? We're going to count to 30 elements. Thank you so much. Do you want to walk back there? What's that stuff? Beautiful.
To
I cannot believe that we're nearly at the end of another Light Up a Life service, and that I'm at the time where I really would like to give some thanks to the special people who've put together tonight's service together. I'm just going to read all the names out in one go, and then we can give them a hearty clap at the end. So first of all, many thanks to Co-op Funeral Care, who are our sponsors. Thank you so much to Newcastle Concert Band and to Urban Chorus, and not to forget Robson's Choice, who the pipers who played for you in the 4 years you came in. I want to thank colleagues who read tonight, who carried balls of stars, who put up that enormous tree, and a big thank you to Rosie and Robin again for switching on our lights. And another big thank you to Alan and Claire for their wonderful, heartfelt words. To thank Hillhead's Farm Shop for our tree, to Jeff Huntley, Plant Hire, Build Base Gateshead, Radio Tyneside, who have recorded this event and which will be broadcast on Sunday, to Midnight Electronics for the lighting and the sound, to the fabulous, gorgeous Joe Calvert and the arena staff who just make us feel so welcome here. And there is an enormous amount of planning that goes into tonight's event and the night on Thursday that we did in Berwick. So I want to give my personal thanks to the hugely hard-working communications and fundraising teams of St Oswald's. And this is not a fundraising event tonight. But the campaign that we have that runs up to this event, where you've so generously donated, as of lunchtime yesterday, we've already reached £105,000. Yeah, let's clap that. So thank you to everybody who's donated, but thank you so much to you for coming here tonight and being part of this service. And thank you to all who've tuned in on Radio Tyneside. I say every year, and I mean it every year, working at St Oswald's is an absolutely massive privilege and honour. It makes all our lives really rewarding. And we meet amazing people, brave people. I see so much love all the time at the hospice, and I want you to know that all your family leave massive handprints on our hearts. We hoped tonight's been a little bit of comfort. And if you want to let us know what it's been like, and you know how to do it, you can find our Facebook page or our Twitter page and let us know some comments. And if there's anything we need to improve, please tell us. And I want to wish you, on behalf of the whole of St Oswald's, a joyful, peaceful and hopeful Christmas. Now, we did this last year and I thought it was wonderful. We're going to sing White Christmas, and you can get your phones out and wave them about like you were at a Metallica concert. So let's sing together our last song. Sing it to each other. White Christmas.
Christmas.
Thank you, everyone. And I apologise, I don't know where Metallica came from. So let me end this service with a blessing to you all. May the sun bring you energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. And may you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. Thank you very much. Good night.